till now we have finished chemical equations, acid, base and salt, life process, light, and control and coordination. So we have finished these many chapters. Till now, you have any doubts? Any of the chapter? No doubts at all? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any of you, any doubt you have, you can clarify. No doubts. Fine, then we are starting the new chapter. Physics, we will start electricity. Okay. I am checking the students. How many are there? Okay. So here, actually, the light chapters is continuation is human eye, but instead of human eye, first because someone is telling that is that chapter is removed from the syllabus this year's syllabus. So first we will check out that, and then only we will solve. We will start that chapter. We will start the another important chapter of physics. Physics, there are very two important chapters. One is light, a big chapter, and the second one is electricity, another big chapter. Completely numericals are there. It is completely numerical based chapter. So we'll start with that electricity chapter. So right now you are free minded, so you can easily learn that chapter. This chapter in the beginning only, I'm warning you, this is very important chapter. Don't try to neglect any of the part of this chapter. And this is all interlinked. All the parts, every day, whatever we are learning, those are all interlinked. And the numericals, you have to solve approx 150 numericals you have to solve from this chapter, and all of them are different from each other. And there are few numericals are there, few concept is there that is based on the heating part, heat energy, work power energy part. In that, if the concept is clear, then only you can solve those questions, because there are 5-6 questions are there which are exactly similar to each other. So there is a student face problem in which formula there are actually in the for everything, for all those there are four formulas are there. There is not a single formula. There are near about 3 to 4 formulas for that one value is there. Power, there are 4 formulas. Energy, there are 4 formulas. Work, there is a 4 formulas, and out of that 4, one particular formula you have to apply. Now, which is that formula, what you have to, how to use, and when to use that particular formula, you have to learn that properly. Although there are only formulas, if you consider as a formula, that will be easier. But it is not necessary that is every formula is applicable for every places. Question change the type of formula you are using for that one particular value. Actually, you have to calculate power. There are 4 formulas. So where, which formula you have to use, that is completely conceptual. If that concept is clear, then only that numerical can be solved. Otherwise, solving numerical will be much difficult. Just like light also, I told the same thing. In that, if you know the sign conventions, then only formulas are there, only 4 formulas you have learned. One is a mirror formula, lens formula, and magnification formula. 3 formulas are there. But is that everything same? All the questions are exactly similar to each other? You might have realized till now. Every question is similar. And if you don't know the concept of this sign convention, can you solve that question? If anyone is not knowing the sign convention, now you guess, you're now knowing everything. So new student is joining. And if he know anything about, he don't know anything about the sign conventions, can he easily solve? If that concept of sign convention is not clear, is he able to solve the numericals of light? Is it possible that is directly substituting the values in the formula, you will get the answers? Is that happening?
No, ma'am.
No. So without knowing structure, if you don't know that's which type or whether you are getting the real image or virtual image, will you find out whether which type of a mirror is used in that question? If the type of no, this one is not given, it is given that is a mirror forms real and inverted image. You will immediately tell that which mirror is that. In the numerical, they have not given the type of mirror, and they have only given that the image, the 10 centimeter, the object is placed at a 10 centimeter whose image is formed at 20 centimeter real image. You will now guess which type of a mirror is that. Can you guess now?
Concave mirror.
Concave.
Concave mirror. Now here, if you only knowing the formula, will you know that one? That is, it is a concave mirror. So that means what concept is necessary? What are there are two formulas only. 1 by f is equal to 1 by v plus 1 by u, and 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. But if the student is not knowing the real image, the concave mirror is formed by real image. Real image is formed by concave mirror, and only virtual image is formed, virtual diminished image, if it is given, then only it is a convex mirror. And if the virtual magnified image is given, then it is a concave mirror. You will get to know if that concept of mirrors, images, if it is not clear, will you find out that the type of mirror, and are you able to solve those numerical easily? Is that possible?
No, ma'am.
No, that means what I was want to tell you, that is numericals are easy only when concepts are clear. Now after knowing concepts, now numerical solving is that easier for you? Is it easy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the same thing in case of electricity also. Formulas, actually here also we cannot say that there are less formula, there are many formulas. Too many formulas actually. And you need to know current formulas, there are many formulas. It's not a single formula of current. So resistance formulas, there are 2-3 resistance formulas are there. Power formulas, there are 3 to 4 power formulas are there. Again, there is a this one, what do you call, energy formula. If you'll ask, there is again the different energy formulas are there. Four energy formulas are there. The formulas are many, pretty more. Then now the concept is very important to know that when to use which formula. Okay, so you are learning this concept should be very clear in this chapter. Theory part is very less in this chapter. There are no much theory questions asked on this chapter. Mostly only numericals are asked on this chapter. It's clear. So you have to be clear with the concepts, then only you will immediately get to know, realize it, which formula when to use. So you have to work on that harder. Okay, so the numerical sheet, for whoever have taken the study materials, they have the numerical sheet. You have, when I'm starting this chapter, you have to keep that numerical that notes with you, because the questions, that's 105 questions are there. If you check out in the this one, that study material, there are, after the notes of 12th chapter, there are 105 numericals are there. Each and every numerical we are solving in the class, and few numericals which are similar to each other, that's I will give you as a homework, 5-10 questions. It will be the homework, but most of the questions, important questions of all those 105, at the time of this one I'm explaining, and that time we are finishing all those things. Okay, so starting with the chapter electricity. This chapter, it will take near about 3 weeks, more than 3 weeks time. Electricity. What is electricity first? Electricity is the branch of physics which deals with charges. Electricity is the branch of physics which deals with charges. So that means charge. It can be a static charge or it can be a moving charge. So charges. In the we have to go through the chemistry part here. The basics of atoms, and molecules we have to go through. So atoms and molecules, in that we have seen atoms are again divided into fundamental particles called as protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons carries charge, one type of a charge, and electron carries opposite charge. So we have considered it. It is a consideration because they both carries a different type of a charges. Therefore, we have considered them. One is a positive and the second one is negative. That is our consideration. That is our consideration. That is one. Both of them carries a charge. Some quantity charge is a one quantity, fundamental property of every matter. The particles carries charges. Now these charges are of two types. So two type charges, that is humans' consideration. We have made its study easier by considering them one as a positive and the second one as negative. So positive charges and negative charges. Protons are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged. Neutrons do not carry any charges. Protons are not movable. They are present inside the center of the center of the new atom, that is at the nucleus, and they are not movable parts. But electrons, which are revolving around the nucleus, are able to move. They leave their atoms and move from one place to other place. So when all the electrons, due to something, if we are able to make it, all the electrons club together at one place, all the electrons will combine. So there are few electrons. For that which electrons can move, that you need to know. So every atom consists of electrons. They are revolving around the nucleus. The electrons which are closer to the nucleus, the electrons which are closer to the nucleus are binded with a strong force of attraction. They cannot move. But the electrons which are present, which are far away from the nucleus, and they carries a very less force of attraction. So on them, the less force of attraction is exerted because they are very far away from the nucleus. Now there is a possibility in some atoms that these electrons can leave their atoms and move away. Within the solid, they are able to move from one atom to other atom, different energy levels, they can jump. Similar energy level. They are not moving into the different energy levels, they are moving into the same energy level, but in a different atoms, they keep on jumping. So from one atom to other atom to third to fourth, fourth to fifth, they are able to move randomly in all directions. So these electrons, which are able to leave their atoms and move freely within the solid, are called as free electrons. So just like in the classroom, if you are sitting and you will see that the last bench, there is a free seat on the last bench. So what happens? Most of the students will try to capture it. So it is suppose from the last bench is the 10th row, has the last, that bench has, generally anyone will not move forward. They generally move backwards only. The last bench, there is any free space. So 9th row student will go to the 10th row student. What happened now? Due to that, what happens? If the 9th row students has jumped to the, moves to the 10th row student, 10th row place. So what happens in the 9th row then?
Ninth row is free.
One empty space is empty. That space is empty. Now what happened? The 8th row student moves back. He wants to go back. So what will happen? He will move to that place. So that is now 9th is filled, but the 8th is empty. Now again in 8th, this 8th is empty. Then 7th row students move to the 8th row. So again there is a space empty created. That is the 7th row is empty. One space is empty. So this way, if the students are keep on shifting backwards, so what is happening? This is a movement of students has taken place. This is the same thing happen in case of some of the atoms, that electrons, wherever they see there is a vacant space or energy, they can manage it. So these electrons will start jumping from one energy level to the same energy level of second atom. From second atom to the third atom, fourth atom, nearby whatever the number of atoms are there, these electrons keep on moving. So these electrons we call as free electrons. Generally valence electrons only are free electrons. And whichever atoms have this more number of free electrons which can move from one end to other end, means within the solid they are able to move by themselves with very less amount of energy, such solids, such metals are only called as conductors. What are conductors? Why we call certain materials as conductors? Why they conduct current? Because of the presence of these free electrons. So the conductors or the materials, generally all metals only, there are free electrons. So these free electrons can move within the solid freely by shifting this way, by creating the spaces and the filling those spaces. So this way, the electrons can move from one end, any direction they are able to move. So those metals or elements we call as conductors. The good conductors are those whichever have the free electrons more in number. So more number of electrons are these free electrons, not the electrons. Electrons may be more or less, that doesn't matter, but number of free electrons which can leave their original atom and can move, roam randomly any direction. So all such metals, generally metals have this property. In the metals only these have free electrons are found. So therefore metals are only considered as a good conductors. So in that case, what happens, whichever the substance element consists of this more number of free electrons, those only we call as good conductors. Are you able to understand which are the conductors here, which we consider as the conductors?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so movement of electrons is necessary. So now in electricity, we are considering about this free charge, free electrons. Electrons, actually number of electrons, more than number of electrons, important is the property they carries. When they are moving from one end to within the solid, they are actually a property which we count, that is called as charge. They carry some energy, just like every object is there, it has a mass. So mass is a fundamental quantity. Mass is a fundamental property, like that every atom, every electron, or these small particles carry some property that is called as charge. And because of the presence of charge, they get attracted to some other substance or they may get repelled. Because of this charges only, they may get attracted towards the electrical field, or they may get repelled from the electrical field. So the charge is a fundamental quantity of every matter. Atoms inside that, the particles, that is due to the presence of these protons and electrons. Protons are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged. So we are concerning about only about the charges. Every electron has specific charge. So when there's the reason we are using the word as charges, and here only electrons are movable, electrons are leaving their place. So only we are concerning about the charges of electrons. We are not thinking anything about the protons, because protons cannot move. So we are not thinking or taking into consideration anything about these protons. Only electrons are able to move, and as they are moving, they are carrying charges. And due to the movement of these charges, some changes taken place in the body. The energy that a body possesses, some energy, that is what we call as electrical energy. So it is only the electrical energy is nothing but the kinetic energy, but that kinetic energy is linked with electrons. So therefore we have called it as electrical energy. So why electrical energy is different? Because energy present in the moving electrons is, therefore it is given the special name as electrical energy. Are you able to understand this? This is a basic concept.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in electricity, we are concerning about these charges. Now you have learned in class 8, that is static electricity, electrostatic. So whenever we rub hair with dry hair with a comb, and that comb is brought near the this small paper bits get attracted. When you this one also, when two balloons are rubbed over the woolen cloth and then brought closer, they will repel each other. So why that happens? That happens due to the movement of electrons from that particular positions. Sometimes what happens, all these free electrons come to the one position wherever the part is rubbed. So there, all the electrons get accumulated. So they all come to that particular position. And they are stagnant there. So all have been collected, but they are stagnant. They are not moving. They are living. They are not leaving the place. They are present at one position only. So that means they are, that area is get charged because the number of charges at that area is more. So maybe a positive charge more. If the all electrons are accumulated at that particular position, then that area, that particular rubbed area, have more electrons. So that will be negatively charged. That will start behaving as a negatively charged body because at that position, more number of electrons are present. And sometimes in some cases, what happens in case of balloon, what happens when you rub it, all the electrons of that rubbed area will move to the other end, which will move from against the rubbed area. So therefore, there is that area wherever we are rubbing. So that area has number of electrons less. So therefore, that area will behave as a negatively charged, sorry, positively charged. So this way, the accumulation of a charges, particular charges takes place. So, but these charges are not able to move from one end to other end. They are not able to move. So such charges we call as a static charges. They are stationary. They are present at one place only. They are stationary. So that type of a study, when we are studying those static charges, that part of the electricity is considered as the electrostatics or static electricity. And if we are making the path for this charges to move from one end to other end with the help of conductor, then such this moving charges will start moving from one end of the wire or one end of the balloon to the other end of the balloon. Second place, through the conductor, the movement of electrons will take place. So the study of this movable charges we consider as a current electricity. So there are two types of electricities. One is static electricity and the second one is current electricity. So static electricity that you have learned, that is class 8, we are not learning in much detail. So this chapter we are supposed to learn current electricity. So that is a movable charges. When the charges will start moving from one end to other end, so that type of a charges we call as, the study of this charges, we call it as current electricity. So this year we are supposed to learn only current electricity part. We are not learning anything about the static electricity. Are you able to understand this part?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So current electricity. So different terminology related to current electricity we are learning. So that constitutes and its formulas, its unit in which we are measuring it, how to measure it, and the numericals based on each terms we have to learn. So first it is charges we are learning. Charge, yeah, current. Second one, potential difference. Next one is resistance, then resistivity. Further, power, heat, energy. And that's it. You have to learn in this chapter. So these terms you have to learn. For every term, what is that quantity definition, its formula, its unit, and the numerical based on all these terms. That basic part you have to learn. So in that, first we are starting with the charges. Charge is nothing but a fundamental property. It is measured. So charge. One second. There are, for all physical quantities, we are using different symbols for all physical quantities. So those symbols, its unit has another symbol, that all alphabets you have to remember. That is the main task in this chapter. That is learning the symbol of that particular physical quantity, its formula and its unit, but unit also has one alphabet. So that alphabet, particularly for which part it is used, that you have to learn. So first we are starting about the charges. Charge, we are using the symbol Q. Q is a symbol used for charge. So charge is a fundamental property. Fundamental property of every matter. Every matter carries a charge due to presence of, so due to presence of this charges, some charges, some of the body behave as a positively charged, some body behave as a negatively charged, or maybe the charges have been created due to some different conditions. The charges has been created to make it one positive or maybe negative. So that is they get binded together or repel together, repel each other. The fundamental property of every matter, the formula, and this one is not necessary to remember this one. There are two types of charges. One is, that is our consideration. One is positive and another one is negative. Okay. So positive and negative, then it is protons are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged, but every proton and every electron consists of the similar value of a charge. Value of a charge on each particle is exactly same. That is, charge on one proton or one electron is equal to 1.6 into 10 to power minus 90, and the unit in which this charge is measured is called as coulomb. C Coulomb. Coulomb. Coulomb is the unit in which charge is measured, because Coulomb was a scientist who has found out the phenomena of charge. So his name is given to the unit of this fundamental property, that is charge. The only difference between the electron is the charge on the one electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. It is negative only. So it was considered the electron is negative and the proton is considered as a positive. So plus and minus, I am giving the sign. Proton carries plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 and electron carries minus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. And the unit in which charge is measured, that is coulomb. So it was calculated by the scientists with the formula. There are different formulas are there. By that way, it is calculated. Now here what happens whenever the current flows, that is electricity moves. Generally, one electron is not moving. There are millions, trillions of electrons are moving from one small conductor. A very small conductor also if we take, thinnest conductor also if we take it, many number of electrons will keep on moving. So therefore the total charge, so we are concerning about the total charge carried by them. Total charge carried by them. So every electron carries this much charge, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. So suppose there are 1000 electrons are moving, then what is the total charge they are carrying? What you will do, how to find out that value? Total charge carried by 1000 electrons is equal to
Into 1000. This 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19.
Yes, one electron carries this much charge. Then 1000 electrons will carry how much charge? Charge carried by 1000 electrons is equal to, yes, others, what are you doing?
1600 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb.
1000 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. That is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 16 coulomb. What you have done? You have calculated the number. You have calculated by multiplying number of electrons with the charge on one electron. Is it right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So if there are, suppose this one is there, what's the value? 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons are there. Then what is the charge carried by them?
0.25 into 10 to the power 18
6.25
into
into 10 to the power
1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19.
6.25 into 10 to the power 18 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. You will do this one. So what exactly you are doing actually? You are calculating the total number of electrons with the charge on one electron you are carrying, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So therefore, according to that, what is the formula then? Formula of total charge is equal to N into E, number of electrons into charge on one electron. Is it right? Q is equal to N into E. This means what? here what you have done, 1000 electrons you multiplied with 1000, number of electrons is 1000, and 1000 you have multiplied with 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. So therefore, what is this value? This is a charge on one electron. So therefore it is E. We have used a symbol that is will tells us about the charge on one electron. Multiply with number of electrons, you will get the total charge carried by them. So Q is equal to N into E is a formula of total charge. So here, why I am counting the total charges? For that, you need to know what is exactly current means. So whenever you say that is whenever you switch it on. So you switch on the bulb, what happens actually? The bulb start glowing. The simple question. Whenever you switch on the switch of a bulb, what will happen? What happened? Everyone is sleeping today or lazy to answer
Can you repeat the
or
question?
don't answer.
Ma'am, you weren't audible.
My connection is probably bad. It's breaking, so can you repeat it?
1 second, wait. Let me check. दिन में प्रॉब्लम आया